Hello everyone, I'm Jorisar bringing you the battle report from OGN's APEX Season 2 Day 4. Our first best of 5 today features semi-finalist and finalist from Season 1 of the competition, featuring Kongdoo Uncia who take on Afreeca Freecs Blue. On the other side of things, we have Runaway versus Flash Lux, both of whom went out in the group stages last season, so it'll be interesting to see how they measure up against each other now. Let's see how they got on. Kongdoo Uncia versus Afreeca Freecs Blue started on Oasis. City Centre began with an early cap from Uncia thanks to a hook pick from Dance. A nano-boosted Recry using Tac Visor killed both of the Kongdoo supports, but even that wasn't enough to dislodge the heavy tank defenders. It wasn't until Kongdoo reached 60% that Afreeca flipped the point into their control. Kongdoo answered right back with an airborne Birdring, burning Nano Visor and helping take control right before Afreeca tied the control percentage. Despite the point trading hands 2 more times, Kongdoo were able to clear off the members of Afreeca Freecs Blue long enough to win the first point. Crucial bubbles from DongHyun on Zarya on the next point saved the life of Arhan on Genji, allowing him to cut through the ranks of Kongdoo and secure the first capture on University. Butcherr, however, decided it was time to pull the trigger on his Graviton and let loose, catching 4 members. Birdring was there to follow up on Genji with the help of Panker's hammer. Gravitons continue to determine teamfights since DongHyun's proves to be just as fatal. Recry shut down Birdring's Nanoblade and fired full auto into the vulnerable Graviton players to swap the point yet again. Chaos continued during teamfights on the point, but Kongdoo were able to come out slightly less bloody, successfully defending a wave of ultimates and securing the first full map in this best of 5 series. Map 2 was King's Row, and it didn't take long for Afreeca Freecs Blue to charge ultimates during their offensive push onto Point A, and once they did, they came out together. DongHyun's Graviton gathered up the defenders on the point while Arhan's Dragon Blade cut through the backlines. The offense stalled out during streets, and Butcherr led the defense through teamfight after teamfight, capitalizing on the stacked up attackers with a massive Graviton team wipe against Afreeca Blue. Things didn't get any better for Adam and company on the payload. They turned the corner to find that losing your Reinhardt very early is an excellent way for the 5 remaining team members to get earth-shattered and cleaned up in the blink of an eye. Birdring again was a thorn in Arhan's side, as Arhan popped the Dragon Blade during Afreeca's last attempt to get to the second checkpoint. He was met by a perfectly timed Tac Visor that cut him down before the blade could find victims. Butcherr too chimed in with a Graviton to seal the fate of the remaining members of Afreeca, earning himself a quad kill and ending the half. On the other side, Birdring started off Kongdoo's offensive as McCree and wasted no time finding a kill by flanking an unaware Recry on the high ground. The mission to capture Point A continued for Kongdoo, eventually gaining traction with a nano-boosted Panker bullying the defense off the point and creating space for Birdring's 6-shooter to fire freely into the crowd. With the payload moving now, Kongdoo needed only to push 3/4 of the way through the streets phase to win the map. After a few failed attempts, they rallied and regrouped behind a charged up Butcherr. The Zarya beam cut through hit point pools like a hot knife, earning a merciless triple kill and securing map number 2 with the team. The battle moved to Volskaya Industries, where Afreeca Blue began on defense and chose to use a defensive Sombra as part of their composition. What didn't work for teams during the winter premiere shone for Arhan and his team. With under 2 minutes left to hold Point A, Arhan unleashed a critical EMP, and Recry Tac Visored the remaining members of Kongdoo Uncia, resetting the offense. Despite initial success, the defense without a bank of ults lacked any real firepower to repel the next push of Uncia. The tank stood tall on the point, pushing the defense off and slowly but surely winning the team fight through pure attrition. The defense then had to adjust their composition for Point B, along with having minimal ultimates to repel the momentum from Kongdoo. The task proved too much for the roster of Afreeca when Panker landed an Earthshatter that stunned 2 and swung for 2 more to immediately begin capturing. Birdring sealed the half of the offense with a Nano Visor that yielded 3 killing blows and guaranteed the Point B. Switching sides, Afreeca Freecs wasted no time on Point A with Adam leading the charge as Reinhardt, forcing the fight into close quarters, earning a kill seemingly with every swing of the hammer. Arhan assisted on the Genji, dashing through crowds of defenders, dealing considerable damage to contribute to the capture of Point A. Point B began with Arhan again letting his presence be known with an absolutely filthy biotic grenade reflect kill onto Lucid, which earned him his ultimate. The Dragon Blade was immediately summoned but proved to be an overzealous decision as he found no targets to kill with it. It wasn't until Recry found 2 kills with Deadeye that Afreeca decided it's time to push on to the point for another capture attempt. Birdring's tack visor wasn't enough to hold off the wave of attackers, and Afreeca Freecs tied the map score 2-2. Kongdoo Uncia began their turn on offense with just about 2.5 minutes left compared to Afreeca's 4.5. The disadvantage didn't discourage them though, as they put Dance on Widow, who found a snipe pick on Recry Soldier. The point was secured in time with the help of Panker on Winston cleaving down the defense. Despite a fast point A capture, time was not on Kongdoo's side, as it only took one solid defense to shut them out of point B. Arhan's Dragon Blade ended the half, limiting any overtime hope by killing 2. Arhan's initial success on the Afreeca offensive push tilted the fight in his favour, but Panker and Butcherr evened the scales in an odd skirmish, playing World of Tanks, it seemed, off the point near the cliff side of the map, that had both Reinhardt and D.Va picking up kills. The offense continued to stall as Birdring came alive on the defensive Genji. Back-to-back Dragon Blades were critical factors in saving the point, as no answers to shutting him down were found. Afreeca Freecs Blue then managed to capture point A in the end and shift their focus to a rush attack on point B. Recry and McCree opened the teamfight with a headshot kill on Birdring and was a key slayer during the point B capture, allowing Afreeca Freecs Blue to get a point on the scoreboard. On to watch point Gibraltar, where Kongdoo Uncia took the first checkpoint seemingly without resistance, and Birdring took to the shuttle to try and secure the high ground with a Dragon Blade. Luckily for Afreeca, Adam was able to shut him down with a well-timed charge before he could do too much damage. The offense regrouped after the death of Birdring, and during that time the defense didn't seem to form a plan and they forfeited the second checkpoint after a series of sloppy deaths. During the third phase, Afreeca burned ultimates en masse in an attempt to stabilize, but it made them vulnerable for the next fight. Panker was able to land an Earthshatter on the team, and the follow-up was there, allowing the card to reach the end. Afreeca's offense put faith in high ground dominance, using Recry on Hanzo and Arhan on Soldier to take the upper level and fire away for picks, forcing the defense to fight directly at the checkpoint until they eventually fell. Arhan continued to be the primary DPS of the offense, gunning down a low hit point Winston mid-air with tack visor, chasing down an Ana kill on Lucid, and crippling the reinforcements, powering Afreeca Blue through the hangar phase. Brawl after brawl kept Afreeca just short of the goal, slowly burning time and gaining no ground. Both teams burned sound barriers trying to outlive their opponent in a drawn-out team fight that eventually ended with Kongdoo Uncia forcing back the attackers and holding the payload just long enough to secure their third map and the 3-1 match win. Group D's match was Runaway versus Flash Lux, and they began on Oasis, where the triple DPS composition of Runaway secured the first capture on City Center, with Cox on Pharah, Stitch on Tracer, and Haksal on Genji. It wasn't until overtime that Flash Lux posed a threat to Runaway's point control, and even then, it wasn't good enough due to Cox's tactical visor and yet another Dragon Blade from Haksal, ending the first submap. University had both Haksal and Stitch building up ultimates before the point was even open. His Dragon Blade got shut down by a perfectly timed sleep dart from Kisu, but the pulse bomb hit pay dirt, killing Lucio. The tanks of Runaway proved they too were a threat when Kaiser on Reinhardt landed a 4-man Earthshatter and just as many kills, sending Flash Lux back to spawn. Haksal's bloodlust continued though with the help of Cox's Graviton and Shine's Nano Boost. He unsheathed the Dragon Blade one last time for the map and slayed the trapped members of Flash Lux. The fight then went on to Eichenwald, where initial kills went the way of Runaway on offense, but Fleta finally had enough and killed 2 as Pharah to stabilize the defense and allow Flash Lux to regroup. The DPS of Runaway refused to stay quiet though. Stitch again on Tracer landed a big pulse bomb to take out the Reinhardt, and Haksal on Genji dashed and slashed to empty out point A of defenders. Haksal always seemed to have a Dragon Blade available, and Runaway made use of it. Nano boosted, he dashed into the crowd in close quarters in Castle and slashed, hamstringing some defenders while outright murdering others. Meanwhile, the payload moved closer to the bridge and the next checkpoint. The defense of Flash Lux, forever on the back foot, continued bleeding at the castle doors, unable to fully win the team fight and falling victim to Stitch's Roadhog hook, which got the kills necessary to move the payload the few meters it needed. Kaiser on Reinhardt ensured that the defense wouldn't stabilize with a team-killing Earthshatter that did as much damage to the defense's confidence as it did to the roster of heroes. Haksal followed up at the spawn doors with yet another Dragon Blade, preventing any reinforcements from stopping the cart. The offense of Flash Lux couldn't find any traction in their first pushes. Even when they got past the choke point, Stitch on Soldier dropped in behind them with a tactical visor and wreaked havoc on the back line. Fleta again had his moments of brilliance on Pharah. Aided with a sound barrier, he landed impressive consecutive flick rockets onto both Stitch and Runner, and then chased a third kill into Shine's Ana. But even that wasn't enough for Flash Lux to capture point A, and the map went to Runaway. Traveling to the Temple of Anubis, where the double-builder defense of Runaway was completely ineffective, partly due to Veil's Widowmaker getting an early pick on Stitch's Pharah, and the fact that the dive-heavy offensive composition of Flash Lux leapt directly onto the point and refused to feed the Symmetra's ultimate. On point B, the defense of Runaway became an unbreachable wall, adjusting their composition and putting Cox on Tracer, who became nothing short of the deadliest gnat Flash Lux could possibly face. With their time bank dwindling, Flash Lux pushed onto point B with Sound Barrier in one last attempt. Cox was still on Tracer though, and with both Pulse Bomb and Pistol Fire, he took out the Reinhardt and Winston, making the rest of the teamfight a routine cleanup for Runaway. Runaway's first push on the flip side consisted of the NRG Mei Wall boost trick, but just like NRG in the past, the trick proved fatal only for the offense. Their second push was more traditional and far more lethal, unchaining Haksal as Genji. Flash Lux still couldn't find an answer to shut him down, and he got 3 kills without using Dragon Blade to capture point A and put Flash Lux in a do-or-die position. The point B assault began immediately, with Runaway letting loose, with ultimate after ultimate in a constant wave of offensive pressure, slowly building control and killing off reinforcements as quickly as they arrived, unyielding until they eventually captured, ending the map and winning the match by a scoreline of 3-0. And that concludes coverage from Day 4, with Kongdoo Uncia and Runaway emerging victorious. To watch the next video, click here, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking here. Thanks for your likes and comments on the video in the meantime, and I'll see you for the next one. Take care.